Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is another top 5 stories video and I hope you enjoy. And happy hashtag Spider-Man Sunday. I'm surprised when I see people say that there's almost no great Scorpion stories. For me, there's almost no Scorpion stories I dislike. I actually can't think of one. Since I've reviewed every Spider-Man's villain who's in the main Sinister Six, I will do more of top 5 stories list for lesser used Spider-Man villains. A scorpion is the natural enemy of a spider's, and in every appearance there's usually a great big battle between the two. Just a reminder, this list will have no team-up stories and just Matt Gargan in the scorpion suit, none when he's Venom. With all that said, here's the top 5 best scorpion stories. Number 5. The Monster Within. Time is on no side. This is a two-parter in Spectacular Spider-Man issues 215 and 216. At this time, the Scorpion is done with his villainous life. He hates being the Scorpion and just wants to die. But then, a millionaire shows up and hires Scorpion to be his bodyguard. The Scorpion agrees. The Scorpion figures this guy can help him with his Spider-Man problem. But the more time he spends with the millionaire Cussler, the more he thinks of giving up being the Scorpion. Since this is a Spider-Man story, when Spider-Man runs into Scorpion, Spider-Man easily takes the Scorpion down, taking no damage. Then, in the next issue, Matt Gargan decides that he will not be the Scorpion ever again, to have a normal life, and the first thing he's going to do is thank Cussler for showing him how great life can be. But when he does, Peter Parker is in the hospital at the same time and recognizes him. So as Spider-Man, he follows Mac down into the sewers, and Gargan tells Spider-Man that he's done fighting, he just wants a normal life. Spider-Man just gives him punch after punch, bruising regular old Mac Gargan, until Spider-Man realizes what he's becoming. This is a villain reform story for Scorpion. At first, I wouldn't think he needed one, but seeing this made me see how human and fun Mac Gargan can be. Here, though, he starts from freaking out to being super calm and chill too fast, I think, especially when he just takes off his suit and is in normal clothes. I always liked it when Scorpion is mad because he thinks the suit is a part of him now. Matt Gargan at the end, you do feel sorry for. He has seemingly given up his life of crime, and Spider-Man just goes ape-poop on him, beating him up. Spider-Man has turned into the monster now. I wouldn't think this would be number 5, but we barely get anything between Spider-Man and Scorpion, and it seems like it should mainly be a Scorpion story, but it's still not a very good one. This story doesn't change the Scorpion at all for future appearances. Number 4. The Coming of the Scorpion. The Scorpion's first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 20 is one of the greatest Spidey stories ever. I made a whole video about this issue for Spider-Man Sunday on my channel actually, so I'm gonna sum up the story fast. J. Jonah Jameson figures out to stop Spider-Man, he needs to create another superpowered individual to take him on, so he gets a private investigator, Matt Gargan, to agree to be tested on by Dr. Stillwell. Since the Scorpion is naturally the greatest enemy of a spider, Matt Gargan gets turned into the Scorpion, and with a power suit complete with a tail, he attacks Spider-Man. He easily beats Spider-Man, and thanks to the unforeseen side effects of the testing, Matt Gargan goes crazy and starts going super villainous. And, in one of the greatest battles to come out of the 60s comics, Spider-Man gets back up and tackles the Scorpion again, never giving in to his pain, and defeats him. Scorpion is one of the best first appearances of a Spidey rogue. I enjoyed that he wasn't originally a bank-robbing bad guy stereotype, but because of an accidental experiment, it turned him crazy enough to become one. Number 3. Still crazy after all these years. Spectacular Spider-Man issue 21 had the Scorpion make his debut return to fighting Spider-Man in the series. Scorpion is mad that he has to live in the sewers because he's a freak and his costume won't come off. He decides that it is Jameson's fault and that he's like this, but all the other times Jameson has survived his attacks. He decides to go back to the abandoned lab of Dr. Stillwell, where he was turned into the Scorpion. Turning on the machine again to give him more power than ever before, this drives the Scorpion to complete madness. More dangerous than ever, Scorpion heads to the Daily Bugle to Jameson once again. Scorpion is insane when the issue comes around, and it's a wonder if he ever really gets cured. This had some great action pieces in it, and the artwork is perfect for a Spider-Man Versus story. There's comedy during the fight which I really love, mostly Jameson rooting for Scorpion to kill Spider-Man, then changing his mind. When the Scorpion is defeated, he acts like a scared little kid and almost like a non-threatening civilian. Interesting, since he is one of the strongest Spider-Man foes out there, we can see how the Scorpion's mind can affect him on the outside a lot here. Like, at the end, when he isn't webbed up and still in a costume, but he just gets dragged to jail with no fuss. He was captured easily because of the shock he was in that because the suit could come off. This is actually the ending of the issue. The issue has a lot of cinematic moments like this one when Spider-Man arrives by stopping a whole car that was thrown at Jameson in the Bugle. I love this issue. It was a great Spider-Man vs. Scorpion fight, one of the greatest, but this is mostly what it was, a great big fight, and another retelling of Scorpion's origin. Number 2. The Scorpion takes a bride, but not the way you think. Annual 18 of Amazing Spider-Man has the Scorpion in a great hero vs. villain rivalry revival. Scorpion, while looking out of his cell window, sees Jameson visiting his son John before his wedding. This sets Scorpion off on his revenge game. Scorpion gets his suit back and kidnaps John Jameson. Spider-Man figures out where Scorpion is and starts fighting. Scorpion is one of Spider-Man's toughest enemies, and it shows in the battles here. Scorpion is fast like Spidey, and strong like Spidey, and carries a weapon in the form of his tail. The ending is a great moment for J. Jonah Jameson when Scorpion asks who he should kill, his wife or son, but Jameson says himself. If Scorpion ever does get into a Spider-Man movie, I hope he's like this, super deadly and uncaring of others, a heartless monster. This may not be my favorite Scorpion story, but I think it would work great in the movies now. We've never had a Spider-Man villain yet who was pure evil and not funny to watch. We never get to see Scorpion without his mask on. Here we do, and it humanizes the Scorpion by a whole lot. We see a man in the suit this time, not just a wild animal. This also showed us how strong regular Mac Gargan is without his suit. He doesn't really need a suit to be a threat. I like that the story is narrated by Spider-Man, and at the same time, we see Spider-Man put into a unique fight scenarios. One of the greatest Spider-Man annuals of all time, this one had it all for the Scorpion. And now, for the greatest Scorpion story of all time. Number 1. Sting Your Partner, The Scorpion's Tale of Woe. A two-parter, this story in Amazing Spider-Man issue 218 and 219 had the Scorpion as a hired goon, something we've never seen him as before. The story starts with the Scorpion testing out some upgrades to his suit, like adamantium claws and a new tail, all provided by the Iron Man foe Justin Hammer. He hired the Scorpion to kidnap a general for him. Spider-Man is at General Musgrave's ceremony too. At this exact same time, Mac Gargan shows up and they both get in a costume. Then, of course, the two start fighting, but in the end, Scorpion gets away. Scorpion changed his plans and kidnapped Musgrave himself, so he could get revenge on Jameson, so Justin Hammer sends out some more supervillains to get the General, and Gargan. Those two are the Rhino and Blacklash. Now Spider-Man is in the middle of all this. The main thing that sticks out to me is the personality Scorpion shows in this story. He's funny, he has fears, he gets happy at times, and has a big overall goal besides just doing his job. The artwork I love. Scorpion especially looks a lot bigger, and his new tail, in my opinion, is still the greatest his tail has ever been. And at the end, he gets his new tail taken away by the Rhino, so it's really nothing that changes for the Scorpion's design here. To see Scorpion as deadly as he is in this issue is shocking, but not off-putting because of the way they humanize and explain why. They base Scorpion on his past with Jameson and when he worked with others, for example when he worked with the Jackal, and goes off the plan by Hammer to do one thing he wants to do most in the world, kill J. Jonah Jameson. This story shows why Scorpion is such a beloved member of the Spider-Man rogues. So those were the top 5 best Scorpion stories in my opinion. These aren't many other great stories like this one. I feel like they've changed Scorpion from what he was supposed to be, especially when he became Venom and then when he was in a robotic Scorpion suit. I really hope we see Scorpion in more forms of media and comics. I can't see why he wasn't used more in the early days. This deadly, poisonous, ruthless Spider-Man rogue has never given much to show his full potential in. I feel someday he will, probably in a future movie, like the third Spider-Man MCU solo flick. With all that said and done, thank you all for watching this top 5 stories video. Bye guys, and have a good day.